Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach, and I'm going to take a look at my side. Thank goodness the buys are over. We finally got through those, and finally we have our full team back. For the most part, it was reasonable, but there were also some scores that I was pretty disappointed with. But mainly, I was pretty pleased. A couple of upgrades, starting to really get my team close to finished, at least in my opinion. 8 trades left, cutting it fairly fine. We'll probably make another couple anyway. But we'll take a look at my side right now. Well, first we'll take a look at some of the numbers if they want to load. There we go. 2297. I mean, I think that's solid, and I think my ranking probably suggests that it's reasonable. When you have a look at my team, I think when you side, all your premiums go well, or you make up for them with a couple of good rookies, I think you can be pleased. But there are a couple of premiums that just let me down a little bit. One in particular, which I really feel I could have almost knocked on the door at 2350, but nonetheless, I'll probably take that. What does that take me to? Top 11,000. I think I'm pretty well set to break the 10k mark pretty soon after a slight setback last week. So fingers crossed we can make our way into the top 10k. But anyway, we'll take a look at my team now. Doherty continues to be a very good selection. Of course, trading out Newman was a tad risky, and he's continued to be good. But the fact is, getting Doherty in, which I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, just wouldn't have been able to reach him with any other players, has proven an extremely good move. Taylor Adams, not bad. You'll take it. Laird struggled, not his best performance. But like many other Crows, it didn't quite happen for him against the Hawks. Jake Lloyd, 99 as well, brought him into the side. Of course, I dished out Tom Stewart, who I haven't checked what he scored, but I presume it was less than 20 or 30 because he was off quite early. So a good move there. My other trade was bringing in Luke Ryan, who only scored the 50 points. But I just felt, with Scharenberg being dropped, I felt looking at probably my next 6 trades, I would probably, to what I want to get to, need that extra 100k, or at least get Ryan making a bit of coin. Just didn't want to get to down, say, month time, and all of a sudden I was wishing I had an extra 100k to make a final upgrade or get to someone who's been injured. So a bit of a safety trade, not an absolute necessary trade. I was weighing up going Scotty Selwood to Bond, which, yes, it would have pocketed me about 60 points, but I just felt I needed that extra bit of coin, and I'll probably go Jake Barrett to Bontempelli this week, potentially. Anyway, back to my team. Tui was good. I thought he'd probably score a bit better with a couple of goals. Heater Shaw, very disappointing. Risky move to bring him in, understandable. But I did think he would be better than what he has been. Zach Williams, I knew, had taken the main role, but I still thought we would get a solid 90 from Shaw on most weeks. It does not seem to be the case. It seems to be the odd 90 scattered with 60s and 70s, which, I doubt I'm going to trade him, but at this stage, it's more pressing to upgrade some final cash cows, but potentially he could be a guy that in 2, 3, 4 weeks could be on the chopping block. Paddy Dangerfield just continues to do it, doesn't he? Just unbelievable stuff. He was enormous, just enormous. He really was. Watching that game, yeah, he turned it over a little bit late, but just unbelievable to just will himself without his partner in crime, with hardly any rotations. He was enormous. Dustin Martin, again, very good. He's so explosive and dynamic. Tommy Mitchell racked up a ton, that's good. Pendlebury likewise very good in the first half. Hanbury was reasonable, maybe a few too many handballs, but I thought he played a pretty good game. Adam Treloar didn't see the game, had a lot of the ball, obviously maybe didn't use it as well, or a bit like Hanbury, you had a bit too many handballs, just your 1-2 sort of action, bit of cheaper pill. Nonetheless, you'd take it, a 90. 72 from Scotty Selwood, so surprised that he even lined up. I'm very surprised he lined up. So he pretty much made his break even. You'd have to think he would go. In a perfect world, I'd probably hope Jake Barrett gets dropped so he doesn't fall in price. And then Scotty Selwood, I can, manoeuvre without his price going. But without having looked too close into what I'm going to do, I would say Bontempelli would most definitely come in for either Scott Selwood or Barrett. And I would dare say that one of them would also be a downgrade potentially. But, look, Nankervis is causing concerns. Tom Lynch is stinking it up, and Heath Shaw isn't going great either. So there's a couple of things to think about. Barrett, 32, he peaked last week, and he's going to start to drop. So as I said, he's certainly one to look to offload now. Hugh Greenwood, absolutely brilliant stuff. He's looking fantastic. So composed for a young man. Very good in the contest too. So he's really skyrocketing up in price, and that should really help at this stage of the season too. Whether I need to upgrade from him or go down, should be very, very helpful. Brodie Grundy at 93 was okay, and Stephen Martin, very good with 128. Bruce, again, didn't play. You would have to think it's getting close to cutting him if you need that sort of cash. McRae and Dalhouse are back to some of their better form. Higgins was reasonable. Could have maybe kicked it better on the siren. That's another debate for another day. And Heaney was good. Nankervis and Lynch really starting to disappoint me. Nankervis, it's been a while since he's looked good. I don't know if he's tiring. I don't know if maybe the wow factor's worn off, whether clubs are putting a bit more time into him now, but he's struggling. And Tom Lynch, again, I didn't see the game, but I presume he is struggling a bit. Getting a little bit of the ball, not enough. He's just not really hitting the scoreboard. It's probably one to really judge his form that I'd need to watch him play. Clearly he's out of form, but for what reason, I'm not too sure. Nick Rewalt's on the radar. Elliot Yeo isn't beyond expensive. I think he's 520. So he's possibly someone I could look at. Again, it's a tough one. I mean, I brought Lynch in not too long ago, and he's been okay apart from the last 2 weeks. But he is prone to an absolute stinker. So, look, Hannon, 317. I'd probably be more inclined to upgrade to a Rewalt or something and just find a 7th forward. I'll just have to wait and see that. I haven't looked into it that closely. So, look, that's my team. It's travelling reasonably well. Most of the guys out there scored well. You look at most, and I think last week I said I was happy with a handful of guys. There's probably less than a handful of guys this week I'm not happy with. I'm pretty pleased with most of them. But it really does start to give you the irrits when some of your premiums start to struggle, particularly ones you've brought in. I've brought in Shaw. I've brought in Lynch. They're guys that you're meant to have already got and serve you well throughout the season. So it's not really panning out that way. When you've only got 8 trades left, it does make it tricky. Obviously, I've got to deal with upgrading Scott Selwood and, say, Barrett or whoever that final midfielder is. And then that'll probably take you down to 5 trades because there's probably going to be a downgrade in there. And then you can start to be a bit picky with your premiums. You can go, all right, sure, you're out of form. I'll give you the boot. Or do you look to go, well, all right, you're out of form, but maybe I'll look to upgrade a Hannon to a Rewalt. And look, you hope and you expect Lynch to get back to form, but while he's out of form, you bring in, he's not an A-grade player at the moment, Nick Rewalt. I'm not sure what he scored, but you just can possibly do that rather than burning a guy who is playing, because mark my words, there'll be a time later in the season where you cop an injury and you can't afford to be picky. We start to get picky at round 15 and 16, trading premiums because we're frustrated. And then we get to round 20 and we wish we had that trade back. So sometimes to trade out premiums, that's why I don't trade them out, because they are premiums and at some stage they will find form. So I would be more inclined to upgrade Hugh Greenwood to Dane Zorko or Joel Selwood, when they fall, or Rory Sloane, or Mitchie Hannon to Nick Rewalt, or I haven't looked that closely at it, but you're probably not going to, in my instance, you're probably not going to get that option in the back line because neither O'Connor, he's not playing, and Ryan's going to be a slow burn. But it's food for thought. You might look to do something in regards to your position. Have a think about it, see how you're going. But anyway, that's how I fared this week. Reasonably happy, but again, it sort of annoys you a little bit when some premiums really fail and fail poorly. If Lynch comes out and scores a 70, you go, look, it wasn't his best day, but it didn't hurt me. But when you start getting below 70, they're ones that it really kills you. So other players picked up the slack a little bit, but if we're really going to break into the top 10k, you just can't afford to have anything in the region of 40s and 50s. You really got to have all 70 plus with the majority 3 figures. So anyway, guys, let me know how you went. Of course, filming from the office today, a bit of a later night, and I just wanted to bust it out before I got home. So worked my way into a bit of an office setup, better than my car, I suppose, bit of an upgrade. But yeah, let me know how you went. Subscribe to the channel as always, and yeah, comment. Always good to get a few comments, and like, share the video, do all that good stuff. So I'll catch you guys soon later in the week, potentially a Shorty's say, and otherwise I'll probably be back later in the week for a bit of a preview. So cheers for joining, guys. I'll catch you later.